Welcome in, YouTube Nation. Welcome in to Skap Live After Dark, a Saturday night Skap Live After Dark special here. It is 11:11 out there, so make a wish. First thing, guys, obviously you can tell my venue has changed up a bit here. I am not at home, but I am still going to be sliding into the Skap Lounge here, hopefully nightly if I can. As I said, as I speculated on Thursday night, I might not be in the lounge on Friday night because I'm a big Tom Cruise fan. If you guys were not around for the end of the Skap Live lounge on Thursday night, I did let everybody know that I might not be there on Friday because I would be supporting my man Tom Cruise in the opening of his new film, The Final Reckoning. So I actually was there last night, so apologies. We can talk about the Pacers-Knicks series tonight, guys. Since I was not on last night, I'll give you my take there. As well as all NBA teams were announced yesterday, so I kind of want to unpack that too. But I think we have to begin tonight with what the hell just happened in the Western Conference Finals Game 3. Firstly, no surprise. I see some comments here. Skap was off on this on his picks in this series. Skap, being me, has said Thunder in 5 in this round, basically since last round ended. And this was the game I projected that the Timberwolves would be winning. I thought going in that the Thunder would win in games 1 and 2. They did easily. And then I thought that the Wolves would come back, and for just pride and to not get swept, they would win tonight's game when it shifted back to Minnesota. And then now I do still think, despite what happened tonight, that the Oklahoma City Thunder will be winning both of the next 2 games to win this series in 5 games. But no, I did not have a 42-point trouncing on my bingo card tonight by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Literal belt to us all over the Oklahoma City Thunder. And why I did not come on here and crush Minnesota after game 1, they didn't get blown out in game 2. I think they lost by 15 in game 2. They kind of got blown. They got worked in game 1 by 26, but that's just how good the Thunder are. I'm not going to come on here and crush the Minnesota Timberwolves for getting worked by 30 points by this team, just like I didn't crush the Denver Nuggets when they got obliterated in 2 games in that series either. I'm not going to do that because the Thunder are an unstoppable entity. I stand by that despite the outcome in tonight's game. Therefore, there's really only one thing that can describe this just hellacious beating, and that is a total no-show humiliation by the Oklahoma City Thunder. The entire lineup should be absolutely humiliated and embarrassed with their pathetic, disgraceful display tonight. Absolute humiliating effort from literal top to bottom on this lineup. Look, the fans of Oklahoma City should be ashamed. The players, the coaching staff, let's say the friends of any of the close friends of any of the players, any family members, of course, of the players. Hell, if they have any teammates or any players on the Thunder that have pets, the pets should be ashamed of themselves. This performance is disgusting. It's disgraceful that a team with this level of talent and this level of, quite frankly, talent discrepancy over every other team in the NBA, Minnesota included, can show up and get pummeled by 42 points in a conference finals game is disgusting to me. Like an absolute humiliating showing performance by the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it was literally never close. It was 34-14 at the end of the first quarter. It was I believe it was 72-41 at halftime. So like literally this was never a game. The Thunder won not one quarter, like not even when the game was out of reach could they win the third or fourth quarter. Just the Minnesota Timberwolves absolutely working the no-showing, pathetic Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. How in the world you give up 88? They held the Timberwolves to 88 in game 1, 103 in game 2, and tonight the Timberwolves score 143. Again, truth be told, I had Minnesota winning game 3, and that's it in this series. And I certainly thought they would show up and play with, heart and commitment and, a sense of obvious urgency, because it was going to be sweep city if they lost tonight. But to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder by 42 points, it takes more than just you showing up and playing well. It takes them not showing up at all. I checked the old schedule. I went through every game they've played this year. I believe they lost 6 games all year in double digits. Really, their biggest blowouts were like 16 or 17 points, other than, shockingly, the Lakers late in the season in like April beat them by nearly 30 with pretty much all the starters in for the Thunder. That was their worst, most lopsided beating pretty much of the year. So, pretty surprising display tonight, I think, not by Minnesota in their effort, but really by the Thunder in their lack of effort. Just looking through, the thing that most pops out to me, the Timberwolves bench was fantastic tonight. And really, the bench of the Thunder is one of the strengths. The Timberwolves have a great bench as well. They have last year's 6th man of the year, Naz Reid. I think he was probably the best 6th man this year. Donte DiVincenzo is another great player on the bench that they added in that Julius Randle, Karl Anthony Towns trade. And then the cousin of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, has been another studly bench addition for them. But looking at the bench performance tonight, 66 points. I had to add that up twice just to make sure that I had it right. 66 bench points from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Unbelievable. And it's not like that was all purely in garbage time in the second half. They had, I believe, 31 bench points at halftime, which, hell, it was pretty much garbage time from the first quarter on. So I guess a lot of those bench points did come in garbage time. It's just that those garbage time minutes started in the second quarter on. For the game, look, 57% shooting from the field for the Minnesota Timberwolves, 50% from the three-point line. So a lot of this is just, of course, sizzling shooting from the Timberwolves. It's great play by the Timberwolves, but there's more play than that in my estimation. There's just no way that any team in the NBA is 42 points better on any night, let alone in the Western Conference Finals, than the Oklahoma City Thunder. They mailed it in from the word go. Ant-Man was hot early on in the first quarter. He was hitting some shots, but then the Thunder just literally shut it down and decided that they just weren't going to play tonight. So it's an absolute embarrassment. They should be humiliated. I think literally the ball boys, the equipment managers, the people that work the concessions in Oklahoma City's arena, literally all of you should be ashamed and embarrassed of the performance tonight laid down by this, just a disgusting effort by the Oklahoma City Thunder. I still fully expect them to go on and win this series in 5, 6 at the most, and then win the NBA championship. But a purely pathetic and disgraceful performance. And actually, history will likely be made, because I believe when the Nuggets got blown out in game 2 of last series, someone shared with me, and I fact checked it, and it was accurate. Someone shared with me the statoid that no team in playoff history has ever won a series in which they lost the game by 40 points or more in. So this would make NBA history if and when the Oklahoma City Thunder win this series, which I fully expect them to do, as I said. And that would be, again, history making for the Thunder. Just a little bit more history for the Thunder, who continue to be a historical team pretty much all season long. Gary, do you have any preliminary takes on this game, by the way? Gary, welcome in. We've got moderator Gary here as usual. Gary, what do you think about this 42 point shellacking?
Well, I told you the only weakness of OKC right now is that they can become complacent. I think they weren't really taking them serious. And I think the Timberwolves were in a corner and fighting for their lives, and they just came out with urgency. I think OKC is kind of like, yeah, this is cute. Now, yeah, get your 40-point win. Yeah, we really don't care. We're going to come out and embarrass you the next game and finish you off in 5. At the best case scenario for the Timberwolves, they might get one more win in this series. I doubt it. And if they do, I expect it to be a lot closer. But I expect OKC to finish in 5, 6 at the very latest. So I think this is a nothing burger. I think this is something that Timberwolves fans, Anthony Edwards fans, can kind of be happy about for a night, and then give 3 or 4 days from now, you're gonna go home sad.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check this real fast. I just want to see what the preliminary open is on the line for the game. Is on Monday, I believe. It is, and Oklahoma City still favored by 3.5. So they were favored by 3.5 tonight, by the way. So they go in and get obliterated by 42 points. In a game they were favored by 3.5 points on the road. They are still 3.5-point favorites now for Monday. No surprise there. They've been favored in every game. They have now been favored in every single game they've appeared in this entire postseason run because they are just that good. But so I expect again, I'm expecting the Thunder to win the next game. I will be very surprised if the Timberwolves win next game. And that will probably then be indicative of the fact that this will be a lengthier series. But I expect the Thunder to win next game and shut it down in Game 5 in Oklahoma City. And then probably they will be meeting the Indiana Pacers now at this point, who, I was not on last night, like I said, because I was checking out the legend, Tom Cruise, that iconic Hollywood icon. I just fit icon and iconic in the same sentence, because if there's anybody that it applies to, it's the great Tom Cruise. I had to check that movie out last night, so I did not see the game live, and then I didn't get home till about an hour after the game ended, so I did not come on last night. But yeah, first of all, great movie, Tom. Shout out Tom Cruise, great movie. Tom, if you're watching, fantastic work as always. And the Indiana Pacers, though, last night, absolutely stunning the New York Knicks. That was, again, another close game, as Game 1 was. Actually, Indiana had control. I ended up watching the game late night after I got home. And then, New York made a quick, ferocious rally down the stretch, cut it to 1, but just did not have enough in the tank. Just another great full team effort by the Indiana Pacers. Really led by Pascal Siakam, who had kept the minute through most of the game. Much of the Pacer players were struggling through a good portion of that game. So Pascal Siakam kind of kept them afloat early on, and then they went on a run in the fourth quarter, like an 11-2 run to get some separation, and then just kind of held on to the finish line. And now the Indiana Pacers are miraculously, shockingly up 2-0. And I said after Game 1, I went into this series obviously dead wrong. I had the Knicks winning this series in 7, but I pivoted immediately after Game 1, after that just pitiful choke job by them. Again, a 14-point blown lead with 2.5 minutes remaining in the game, and 9-point lead with like 58 seconds left in the game. So I said then and there, like, you cannot lose that game. It's more than one loss. It counts as more than one loss. So I pivoted my pick completely from Knicks in 7 to Pacers in 6. Now it's smelling suspiciously like Pacers in a clean sweep, because it is now a 2-0 hole for the New York Knicks, and they're heading on the road to play in Indiana. So actually looking like that series might actually be done in quicker time now than this one, than this Minnesota and Oklahoma City series. So we've got that as well happening. That Indiana New York series. They've got game. Let me check and see what the line is for that game tomorrow.
The Knicks have to get a win. No way they get swept.
I wouldn't doubt that they get swept at this point, Gary. I mean, the line is tomorrow. I'm looking at it right now, -2.5 for Indiana at home, like I said. So,
right.
I mean, if they win tomorrow, then that's a wrap.
I don't pay attention to the lines. The betting lines are rarely dictate the outcome of the game.
I think it just gives like some indication though of, I mean, the line, because quite frankly, the betting lines are typically never wrong. I mean, they're not never wrong, but they're typically, especially, I used to be a pretty avid gambler. And maybe perhaps not necessarily for basketball, but for football, it's just so suspicious how the lines are like always spot on in the NFL. I feel like I used to bet a lot on NFL games and a lot on NBA games for that matter. But the NFL lines are typically like just spot on. So I just think it gives somewhat of an indication on, what the lean is. I mean, the people that set those, the handicappers are so utterly dialed in. They are attuned to everything, trends, injuries, officiating crews, ATS, historical trends for teams, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I do actually, I put a lot of credibility into lines, quite frankly, but I do see lines sometimes that are just very suspicious and make no sense to me. Again, I would have favored Oklahoma City in every single game they played, except for maybe tonight, quite frankly. I think maybe I would have given Minnesota like a 1.5 point favor line tonight, because I did really think at home this was the one shot that the Timberwolves had to get a win. And so they did, and so they capitalized on that. So, but again, in order for them to capitalize on it meant that a lot of players, conversely, on the Oklahoma City Thunder completely dialed it in, mailed it in totally. And I do mean everybody, every single player on the team, from top on down. If we're looking at the top, the head of the snake, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the worst plus minus on the team, -32. 14 points on 4 of 13 shooting, 2 rebounds and 6 assists for him, 4 turnovers. And then look, nobody else really. I mean, Jalen Williams, 13 points, 3 of 9. Chet Holmgren, 10 points, 3 of 7. Their bench, typically a strength, not good tonight. They end up with a decent amount of points off the bench, including AJ or Ajay Mitchell. Never even heard of that player. 14 points on 6 of 11, but obviously in just straight garbage time there. And Gary, actually, speaking of the bench and the Thunder, I have this weird admission to make. So I watch a lot of games. In fact, I watch most games without the sound on.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else does that. I'm typically either like I have either other things going on, or I just don't like the call. I don't like a lot of the national calls that I see. I used to, for years and years, have League Pass. I have not had League Pass in a couple years now. So I did, and I obviously, like, not only do I watch all of the national games, and I guess it's been about 3 years since I've done League Pass, but I'm thinking I need to get it back. But anyway, even when I had League Pass, I used to watch portions of, or mostly all of, the games every night. So maybe that's why I got away from the League Pass. But I actually liked having the League Pass because they had the local broadcasts on, and I like the local calls. I do not like national calls, so I typically do not listen to those. So I just discovered that in my mind's eye, first of all, they don't have first names on jerseys. It's just last names. But for whatever reason, I've just been adding an R. Like, my mind has been correcting Cason Wallace for like 2 years now. I've thought his name was Carson for like 2 years. Thunder bench player, Cason Wallace. So I just wanted to make that. I just wanted to just make that weird admission that I have been thinking this guy's name was Carson for like 2 years. Not much different than when I was referring to Luka Doncic as like Luka Doncic for years. I was mispronouncing his name for years because, again, I really don't listen to the calls, so to speak. So yes, I just found that out that Wallace's first name is Cason, not Carson. So there you have it. But yes, he played bad tonight, as did everybody else on the bench. He with just 2 points, and he's, it's hard to say because the Thunder typically they go like crazy. They go crazy depth. Like they usually play 5 guys. They play 10 guy rotation, 10-man rotations. Typically play 5, at least 3 guys, very substantial minutes. So none of them played well. No one played well on the entire Thunder lineup tonight. I think we've driven that point home. Conversely, on the Timberwolves, well, everybody kind of played pretty well. Julius Randle, big bounce back game from game 4. He was horrendous. From game 2. He was horrendous in game 2. Good in game 1. Came in good. Came in on a high. Had been playing well all postseason long. Came in and kind of just vanished in game 2, but he bounced back tonight. 9 of 15 for 24 points for him. And then obviously the big story tonight in terms of the Minnesota Timberwolves, which I said it in the aftermath of game 2. The only hope the Timberwolves have is if like Anthony Edwards goes crazy, and he went crazy in the first half. He went crazy, and he really just they didn't really need him the rest of the night. So he only ends with 30 points on 12 of 17 from the field. But I mean, he only played in 30 minutes. They didn't really need him at some point. Like this game was over at halftime. It was a 31-point margin at halftime, and Minnesota came out in the second half. I think OKC opened up like a little mini 5-0 run to start, and then it was just all Minnesota the rest of the beginning stage of the third quarter, and the game was essentially over from there on. So, but look, Edwards undeniably set the tone. He's a great player, and when he makes the shots that he did tonight, that does add a dynamic. But it's just hard to envision him being able to do it 4 times out of 7 against this team and against the defensive personnel that they have available. But Anthony Edwards was a plus 36, a game high plus 36 tonight for Anthony Edwards. So that's what we're looking at. We're about 22 minutes in now on this Saturday night edition of Skap Live After Dark. Gary, there was some other news yesterday that came out, which I did want to discuss. Actually, let's just squeeze a couple of these super chats. We just got a couple of super chats. So let's just squeeze a few in here real quick. And then I want to touch on the all NBA team selections came out yesterday. So I did just want to talk about that as well. But we do have some questions. So let's just slip these couple ones in here. From Mason, a regular into the lounge here. Welcome in. I know it's a Saturday night. Probably people are could be busy. We got almost 400 people in here though. So welcome to all of you. And thank you for joining us here in the lounge area. But we do have our regular in. I see a couple regulars actually have slipped into the sponsorship area. So let's go ahead and kick this off real quick with Mason. Gary, what does Mason have for us tonight?
FTA forgot to tighten his crop top and pay his boy Scott tonight.
I'm guessing, okay, I'm going to insinuate some things. I think he's referring to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is typically, obviously, because it's his initials, referred to as SGA. This is a very clever comment by Mason here. But because of all of the free throws that Shai shoots, and because of his alleged foul baiting ways, free throw merchanting ways, Mason is referred to him as FTA here. Maybe a free throw Alexander, his new name. And then also SGA is not he's not averse to wearing the see-through like crop tops, to games, before game, whatever. So this And then Scott, I guess, did Scott Foster, did he officiate the game tonight again? I guess Scott Foster has been a source of a little source of I don't know, controversy, I guess you could say, in these playoffs. The two games that he officiated in that last series were the two games that the Thunder won by like 40 points. So yeah, a lot of people speculating maybe that Scott Foster might be in the pocket, or so to speak, might be on the take from either the league is mandating that they do this for the Thunder, or maybe just, I mean, I think it's kind of undeniable so far that the Thunder have been getting generational whistles in this, at least what I've seen. I've seen every game they've played in this postseason, and they get away with a lot of physicality on one end, and then it's just not really reciprocated on the other end oftentimes. But so Mason is speculating that maybe something happened with the relationship dynamic. But maybe let me suggest this, Mason. Maybe Scott Foster isn't in anybody's pocketbook or any team. Maybe it's not being dictated any which way by the league offices, other than keep it tightened up, like keep it close. So like, if we're thinking maybe the Thunder might have swept this series, maybe the call came down from Commish Gargoyle, Nosferatu himself, Adam Silver, that, hey, look, do not let Minnesota get dusted out of this playoff on the broom. We need some ratings. We need the series to go more than 4. So maybe that was the mandate for tonight. Who knows, Mason? But I like that FTA. That's pretty funny. We've got next the Enforcer, who is a regular in the lounge. So welcome to the party, pal. And thank you for coming in and sponsoring us here at Skap Live After Dark. Gary, what does the Enforcer have for us tonight?
Well, Enforcer, I don't agree with your take here. Let's see if Skap agrees. This, as it's been said, is further evidence that OKC is extra overrated, which I don't agree with that, and that Minnesota clowns around too much and could do this more often. No, they're not going to do this more often to OKC, at least they're not.
Well, I will say this. Minnesota, to me, underachievers. I do agree with that. They were 49-33 this year. Pathetic, in my estimation. Pathetic.
Right.
This is a 60-win team. What are you doing? I believe they were the 4 or 5 seed last year, and they were in the mix. Last year, they had injuries. And I think they would have been the 1 seed last year, not Oklahoma City, because Minnesota actually led the West, I believe, last year. Length of time throughout the season, they actually spent more time as the 1 seed in the West than any other team in the West last year. Ultimately, the Denver Nuggets and Oklahoma City Thunder tied for the 1 seed last year. And then Oklahoma City, by virtue of head-to-head tiebreak, ended up as the 1. But I don't begrudge them. So that the Timberwolves ended up dropping from the 1. I think they were the 3 last year. And they only finished like 2 or 3 games behind OKC and Denver. But this year, they were relatively clean from an injury standpoint. And the fact that they only won 49 games is pitiful to me. Honestly, Nikola Jokic missed 12 games this season, and somehow the Denver Nuggets still won 50 games, still won a game more than this Minnesota team. The Houston Rockets won 3 more games than the Minnesota Timberwolves this year. That's just underachievement to me. But with that said, so yes, I do. I think Minnesota is in a vacuum. We can't say Boston's the second best team, I guess, at this point, because they lost. Boston lost to a team that is going to lose to another team that is then going to get swept by another team. So Boston, you could say, is 4 degrees of separation away from a championship this year. So we can't say necessarily that Boston is the second best team in the NBA this year. But in my opinion, they are. In a vacuum, to me, OKC, Boston, Minnesota. Those are the 3 best teams in the NBA. The 3 most talented teams, the teams that have the three like best front top line starters, as well as depth and defensively oriented, good shooting teams as well. Dynamic singular stars. To me, those are the three best teams in order to me. So the fact that Minnesota only had, like, Boston had 64 wins, Oklahoma City had 68, and Minnesota had 49. Like, they should have been a 60-win team this year. So I do, to some degree, I do agree with the enforcer in his estimation, or his speculation that Minnesota clowns around a bit, as he said, underachieves, plays down, yada, 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 gets bored. But they're not 40 points better. I don't think they're better in any way, shape, or form than the Thunder. I think the Thunder will win the next two games and end this series in 5. Doesn't surprise me that they won a game. Hell, even if they win 2 games, wouldn't shock me. But to 42 points, no. That if that's anybody clowning around, it's the Thunder with just a pathetic and disgraceful effort tonight. Just completely mailed it in. Just pathetic, I think.
What about the Suns? Where would you rank them where they should be? Because that's got to be one of the biggest underperforming teams ever.
Well, here's the thing, Gary.
And they don't have defense though, but that offense should be.
They don't have depth either, though. That's the thing.
Okay, so you wouldn't put them around where the Timberwolves are, just based on their 3 big stars.
Definitely not. Just because, first of all, they don't have 3 big stars, Gary. They have 2 big stars. I'm not counting Bradley Beal as a star.
Okay.
And then Kevin Durant, I just want to see exactly how many games. Kevin Durant missed about 30 games this year. Just stand by. I want to confirm exactly how many that was. 36 and 46, though, is nuts. The fact, like, that's
right.
a ridiculous record for that team, regardless. But so Devin Booker played 75 games. So he just missed 7 games. That's it. Kevin Durant, okay, he didn't miss 30. He missed 20. Exactly. He played 62 of the 82. And then Bradley Beal played 53. So he missed 29 games. So Durant missed 20 games and Beal missed 29 games. So, like, had they not missed that amount of games, they would have at least made the playoffs, I think. But like as a 7 or 8 seed. So still pretty pathetic. But the depth, Tyus Jones is their 4th leading scorer. Grayson Allen was their 4th leading scorer, and then Tyus Jones. So, I don't know. And they don't really play great defense. I don't know. Honestly, I think maybe the Lakers, you could say, probably were the next best team after, in the West at least, after the Thunder. I would say Thunder, Timberwolves, and Lakers. Quite frankly, the Lakers were the 3 seed in the West, so I don't think that's like too far off or too hard to take. So those would probably be my top 3 teams. I think probably maybe the Warriors at health. Like when the Warriors,
the Clippers, if Kawhi's healthy.
Sure. Yeah. Clippers too. Yeah. You could say the Clippers, maybe. Actually, I would probably say the Clippers were the 3rd best team.
Right. Why?
Then the Lakers, and then maybe at health, Golden State, with a healthy Jimmy and Steph. And then probably I would say Denver would be the next. So Denver, like the 5th or 6th best, maybe 5th best roster in the West. So that's pretty much where I would shake those teams down in the West. But yeah, Minnesota to only win 49. Denver, how did Denver win one more game? Like the Lakers got them one more game. The Clippers won one more game. And then the Rockets, 3 more wins. So for Minnesota, I think Minnesota should be a 60-win team. The fact that they didn't even win 50 it's wild to me. And just to be fair to them, I will look in here to. Anthony Edwards played 79 games. Rudy Gobert played 72 games. Jaden McDaniel played in 82 games. Naz Reid played 80 games. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 82. Mike Conley, 71. Julius Randle, 69. They didn't have injuries. This is a disgusting. I'm just disgusted. Skap, Skap Live After Dark in the lounge is I'm feeling disgusted tonight. Disgusted by this pants pooping performance by the extremely talented Oklahoma City Thunder. And then 49 wins for this Minnesota team is pitiful. Like when I look at this roster and when I see the fact that none of their guys missed games, like what are you doing? Winning only 49 games. It's disgusting. It is the code, the word tonight of the lounge is disgusting. But thank you, Enforcer, for coming in, and thank you for supporting and sponsoring us here in the lounge. Next, we've got another regular in, Franco the Italian. Welcome in, Franco. What does Franco have for us tonight, Gary?
Now, I'm in full agreement with Franco the Italian on his comment here. Great couple of WNBA videos, Skap. Love them. Superb. I actually just watched your recent Angel Reese video right before we went live. It was really good.
Yeah, I just put an Angel Reese video out. For those of you that are in the lounge, we've got about 400 people in here in the lounge area now. And I put out, yes, I've been putting out a couple WNBA videos. I have maybe about 6 or 7 total now on my channel out, but I put 2 out in the last roughly week. So yeah, stay tuned. While I have you here, 400-ish people on, I will be doing not only more WNBA stuff when the season ends, but I'm going to be getting into, in some capacity, some way, shape, or form, some NFL stuff as well. So I don't know if that tickles the fancy of any of you out here in the lounge, but make sure, if you're not subscribed, make sure to do that now, because I'll be covering some other things moving on after the NBA season culminates. But Franco, thank you for the shout out, and thank you for your continued support and sponsorship of us here in the lounge. Next, we've got Medved in. Welcome back in, Medved, another lounge regular. What does Medved have? What question or comment for us tonight?
SGA showed what kind of player he really is when he doesn't get foul calls. Ant-Man greater than SGA. Jokic is the true MVP. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, anybody that's on here at this point, as we're about 40 minutes in, nearing midnight here in the good old US of A on the East Coast, where I am at now in the lounge. But any of you joining us now, more than likely, probably are well aware of what I think of the MVP race this year. And, we'll get into the All-NBA teams, actually. I do want to discuss that. But I think that it's a joke that Nikola Jokic has now lost 2. Look, I understand that the best player or the most deserving player doesn't win every year. I can quite frankly go through the last 35 MVPs and probably take some kind of an exception with, or suggest that some other player had a more deserving case with probably at least half of them. So probably half of the time, I would say that the right person, or the most deserving person, or the person I would vote for if I had a vote, is not winning. So it's not like it's just happening to Nikola Jokic, but the fact that it's happened 2 times in a row, or 2 times in 3 years to Nikola Jokic, is pretty off-putting to me, for me. And the fact that, he lost the one in 2023, it would have been, and he lost the other one this year. So I just want to go over this. I know I talk about advanced analytics a lot at this point, and it's funny because I've always hated advanced analytics. I've always kind of railed against them because I am a big Kobe Bryant fan, as everyone knows as well, I'm sure. And he was not a very efficient player. He did not rank very highly in the advanced fields. So I have kind of, I had fought against, pushed back against, railed against the advanced analytics and the usage of the advanced analytics, that they factored in so highly with many of the voters, with a large percentage of the voting block of writers, that they were relying on these things to such a degree. And it aggravated me for years. So now, in hindsight, I now want consistency. Like if you're using the advanced metrics to give LeBron two MVPs in whatever, a 9 and 10 that should have been Kobe Bryant's MVPs, in my opinion, as he was the 1 seed in the Western Conference those 2 years with a similar roster, in my opinion, but playing a much harder schedule. But you're going to use the advanced metrics to give those awards to LeBron James. So now I want consistency. I want them to continue to rely on the advanced metrics. And Nikola Jokic destroys the entire NBA in the advanced metrics. So yes, I'm going to talk about the BPM again, because it is the king of all the advanced metrics. And Nikola Jokic is just a literal god of the BPM. BPM, which is box plus minus. Again, if you're new or if you haven't heard me describe this, I'll just explain it real quick. It is an evaluation of the standard box score in its application as to how you affect the outcome, how many points you add to your team above the standard average replacement level player at your position. So basically, the average level replacement player being a 0.0, then the BPM is how much you add on top of the standard replacement player. A 10 BPM, double-digit BPM, there's typically only one guy per season that is in double digits. Some years there are no double-digit BPM guys. It essentially means you're a lock for MVP when you hit 10 in BPM. Last year, Nikola Jokic was the only double-digit BPM guy. He won the MVP. This year, Shea was an 11.5 on the BPM scale. He won the MVP, but Jokic was 13.3, so significantly better than Shea. And when I look at the top 7, Nikola Jokic has 5 of the top 7 all-time single-season BPM years ever. LeBron James in 08-09 is on the list. He won the MVP that year. And Michael Jordan in 87-88 is on the list. So that's it, though. Those are the only 2 non-Jokic years. And I just want to confirm Jordan did win the MVP that year too. So LeBron and Jordan have 2 single season BPM highs in league history. Both years, LeBron's 08-09 and Jordan's 87-88, won league MVP. Then you've got Nikola Jokic at 1 and 2, Nikola Jokic at 4 and 5, and Nikola Jokic at 7. And the 2 years, so he lost he had the 4th highest BPM ever in 20, and when he lost the MVP the last time to Joel Embiid, and he has the 2nd highest BPM ever this season. So the fact that, look, like I said, I started this spiel, this diatribe off with saying, I get it. Like Jokic is not, being isolated. He's not an isolated incident or a case throughout NBA history. Jordan obviously should have won about 8 or 9 MVPs probably. He only won 5. Many people argue LeBron should have won. Now, look, I think there are years LeBron probably should have won the Derrick Rose year, I guess. But there are other years I think that LeBron shouldn't have won that he did, so it kind of evened out the years that he didn't win. Yeah. Nikola Jokic should have 5 straight. So hopefully he gets some kind of a makeup award somewhere along the line so he can at least get to 4. I think Nikola Jokic's peak is better than LeBron James's. I think his value is higher than LeBron James's. So I think it will be a travesty if Nikola Jokic doesn't reach at least the same number of MVPs that LeBron James has. So anyway, just to in a roundabout way to answer Medved's question or comment here. We all know what I think of the MVP race this year. We all know that it was a Jokic in my book. But to his point about Ant-Man and SGA, I think, look, SGA, I think is better in the mid-range, I would say, than Ant-Man, though Anthony Edwards does have a viable mid-range game. He just doesn't utilize it anymore. He actually showed it off more last year. Now he just shoots like 10 threes a game, or he's trying to attack the rim. That's it, pretty much. There's not much in between now. But there's no doubt that I think Ant-Man is obviously, in fact, this isn't a hot take. He's a more dynamic athlete. He's more explosive than SGA. So he does bring that to the table over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think Alexander is maybe like more tactical. They're both good ball handlers. So, I think you can go either way on this. Obviously, SGA he's the MVP of the NBA. He's now, this is his 3rd consecutive All-NBA team selection, which I do want to talk about those All-NBA selections, and we will here momentarily. But
something to say. I'm fuming over something.
You're fuming, Garrett, moderator?
I am fuming right now. I just saw the listings. I cannot believe. I don't care. Wembanyama had a blood clot that shut him down. For him to not even make an all-defensive team, to not be listed on that, is insane.
Well, but Gary, he literally was not allowed to be on it.
But that's okay. He had a blood clot, but his stats were still better. If his stats were still better, didn't he still have the most blocks in the entire league, even being out for a third?
But what I'm saying though is like he legitimately just was not like they have a rule, like there's a minimum requirement.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is there should be an exception if someone has a legitimate injury like that, unless if they still have the stats to back it up, is what I'm saying. His stats were still.
But many of them have legitimate injuries, but still have the stats. Like, I mean, I feel like you need to do away with the 65 minimum rule or not. Like you can't just go halfway. I mean, the defensive teams, by the way, came out a few days ago. I'm talking about the All NBA teams.
I haven't seen those. I just looked at it. I just looked it up just now.
And the defensive teams came out like 3-4 days ago. And then the All NBA teams officially were announced yesterday.
I mean, Wembanyama, I understand. I wasn't angry that he didn't get consideration for Defensive Player of the Year since they shut him down. But to not even be able to make an all defensive team, it wasn't like he was load managing. He had a lot severe.
Well, right. But Gary, that the
stats are still there even when he missed a third of the season.
But it doesn't matter though. It's not like a nature of the rule. Like it's not
an average. It's an accumulation stat. Is what I'm saying. He had the most blocks even though he missed. Is what I'm getting at. It's not like
But he didn't hit 65 games though.
What's that?
But he didn't hit 65 games.
But
it's not interpretive though, Gary. Like you have to play 65 games or you cannot make the team. Like that, it just is what it is. Victor Wembanyama he was not eligible for anything. He would have been, had he played 65 games this year, he would have been All NBA second team, All NBA defensive first team, and Defensive Player of the Year this year, had he played 65 games. But he didn't. And
you said he would have only been second team on the second defensive team?
No,
he would have been first?
He would have been second team All NBA, first team All NBA defense, and All NBA defensive player defensive player of the year. So he would not have been first team All NBA, but he would have been second team, I think. And then he would have been definitely first team All NBA, and he would have definitely won Defensive Player of the Year. It was basically over when they shut him down. He was minus 2,000 in the books in Vegas to win Defensive Player of the Year. Like it was a runaway victory. But when he was decommissioned, it immediately he went to 0 and the line jumped. Gary, he played in 46 games. I mean, that's literally half the year.
Right. And who has the most blocks in the league?
But it doesn't matter though. Like you have to play 65. It's not an interpretive thing. And he didn't even come close. He was 20 games away from even meeting the minimum threshold. So I don't have any problem with him not making it. Sucks. It's unfortunate. But quite frankly, even if I think they're going to undo the 65 minimum, I think that's going to get taken away. But even if they do, 46 ain't enough. You got to get to at least 50 to get consideration for anything. 40, that's barely half the year.
But if in half the season you still lead, you only needed 46 games to lead the entire league in blocks, and you can't even get listed on the all defensive team. I understand not winning Defensive Player of the Year. I have no problem with that. But I'm saying he's not even being mentioned on an all defensive team is the problem that I'm having. He already led. He didn't even need but half the games to lead the league in blocking, and he's not even listed on the. So that's what I'm saying. It's not if it was an average thing, I would totally understand. But I'm saying this is an accumulation stat. How did other guys in 82 games not be able to catch him in blocks when he only played 46 games? That's what I'm saying. Now he's not even listed. He's not even listed.
The rule is the rule, though. Alex Caruso is an all NBA defender, period. He is.
Right.
He was second team last year. He was first team the year before. He's easily all NBA defense this year. He played 54 games. So he just didn't get the votes. Like he's not allowed to be on either. So like it just is what it is. Like,
but did he have an accumulation stat that he buried everyone else in? And in 54 games, did he beat the total amount of another player?
It doesn't matter.
Right. No, I see what you're saying. You're being very you're going by the legality. I get that. I'm not arguing that. My point is I'm challenging the legality. I'm saying it's BS. To somebody leads the league in blocks in only half the games, and then they can't even get on the defense. I understand not winning Defensive Player of the Year, even though he should have done that. But I'm saying, but to not even be on. What did Alex Caruso? Did Alex Caruso have the most at the end of the year in 54 games? Did he have the most of any particular stat other than another defensive player? I doubt it. He's probably an average guy. What I'm saying is an accumulation, the most blocks at the end and only half the games. You deserve to be on the defensive team. That's a lame rule.
It is a rule though, nonetheless. So there's no interpretive aspect of it. There's no like, oh well, these were a legitimate 40 missed games, and like other people that like missed 19 or 20 and like don't quite get to 65 that are load managing. Well, those people really do defy like the feel or the aspect like that we're going for with that 65 minimum. So like if you're load managing, okay, like that then you don't qualify. But because this guy had like, what are we going to do? Like have legitimate doctor notes? Like we have like, okay, if this guy has a legitimate doctor note, then they could then be like maybe, but that's not the way the rule is written right now. So unfortunately, the rule is the rule. Like there, so it doesn't matter. Gary, he could have tripled everybody in blocks in the 46 games that he played. He played in only 46 games, though. He didn't play in 65. And quite frankly, I don't care what he did. Like if it's like 61 or like 54 or like 51, like, but he didn't even make 50 games. Like, I mean, I just don't know like how I feel about a guy in the 40s being designated anything. And like I said, look, it just is what it is. Oh, hello there, Luna.
Well, it was a life-threatening blood clot. It's not it. I mean, that's not the same thing as these typical injuries or load management or whatever. This was like a life-threatening thing, and this guy was disheartened to not be able to play. Still showed up at the game.
I mean, okay, look, Gary. Last year, Joel Embiid had a legitimate injury. He ended his career. His season ended with like a legitimate knee injury. He had surgery. Right. He was decommissioned. Like that was all on the up and up. He averaged 35 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists on 53% shooting from the field. In right. The amount like he's all NBA first team. Like 35, 11, and 6 is all NBA for on 53%. That's all NBA first team. It's probably you can't say MVP because he only played 39 games.
Right.
So like so obviously he didn't make
any. That's an average, which you can't guarantee at the end of the season, hey, you're going to continue that average. But blocks, if you only play 46 games and you're still way ahead of everyone else in blocks, that's not an average. That's an accumulation. You already peaked in only 46 games. We can move on because
I don't know what to tell you. Write the league offices, write your commission, write your senator, write your congressman, get in touch with Commissioner Nosferatu in New York because it just is what it is. Like I actually like the rule. A lot of players hate it. Players have been whining and complaining about it all season long. I like it. Like if you're not, quite frankly, I don't think he should be on. I don't think 65 might be a stretch, but like if you can't play at least 60 games, like you don't deserve to be on any NBA team designation, any defensive designation. You shouldn't be an award. You should not be eligible for awards. I don't think like like if you can't play at least, if you cannot play at least, like miss in the teens of games, like if you're missing 20 plus games, to me, like I don't care what the reasons are. Like you're not impacting the game as much as other people that played in like 70 games. And this, look, LeBron and Steph Curry, like 2 or 3 years ago, played in like 50 games each and were both all NBA. Like it was a joke to me. Like LeBron played like 52 games and Steph played like 55, and they were both all NBA team designations. Like I just don't accept that. I think that year actually Anthony Edwards missed an all NBA designation. It was 2 years ago, I think, and he played like 79 games and was like whatever 25, 5 and 5. And you have LeBron sliding in there with like 52 games or 53 games played. It was a joke to me. So I actually do like the 65 game threshold. Maybe you take it down to 60 possibly, but in the 40s, I get what you're saying, but still like 40 some games is just not enough.
And that shows how good he is. Only 46 games. The second leading is Brook Lopez with 148. Wemby had 176. I'm just saying he should be mentioned as an all defensive team.
I don't care. There's no doubt he's the best defensive player in the NBA. He was going to run away. It was going to be a unanimous defensive player of the year. Unanimous. No one else would have gotten a single first place vote. So there's no doubt that he is the best defensive player in the NBA. And if he can play 65 games or more, if they keep that rule in place, he's going to sleepwalk himself to like 10 straight defensive first teams and like probably 4 or 5 defensive player of the years, maybe more. Everybody can see, if you see Luna over my shoulder right there, she's walking around in the background. So I just wanted to point her out. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think like it just ultimately like it is what it is. He didn't meet the threshold. But Gary, I didn't even want to talk about defensive teams. The defensive teams came out like 3 or 4 days ago. I wanted to mention the all NBA teams, which came out yesterday. First, second, and third team designated yesterday. So I want to discuss those. I've kind of fallen behind. See, I somehow am always behind on these super chats. Like I start off well when I couple.
Yep.
Then I just get behind. So I'll table my all NBA take for a minute here while we play a little bit of catch up. We had Medved there. Now we've got Xavier Degod in. So okay, Xavier Degod. Maybe we can talk these all NBA teams because Xavier Degod is sliding in.
Yeah, that's when I brought that up because I saw his and I knew we were about to get into it, and I just seen the Wembanyama stat. So it says
we've got LeBron. So okay, let's just go over these. Let's just go over the first teams real quick. Now I do see a couple things. We've got some regulars that have slid in here. I see Stephanie is in. Shout out to you, Stephanie. Hello. Lester's Banana. What's up, Lester's Banana is in. The Enforcer sent in a couple more. Actually, Stephanie sent in a couple. Xavier has sent in a couple. John Radcliffe is in, actually. We'll just put him up real quick. John, bruh, welcome to the party, pal. How's that shoulder feeling? How's your roommate MJ doing? You've been kind of MIA since those Celtics. Hopefully you're on good pain meds for that shoulder. But we'll be back. We'll get back in the mix here and hit up on these super chats. But I do want to just touch on Xavier. Xavier, what's up, my friend? A regular to the lounge, as always, is here. Thank you so much. And is saying he is now bringing up the All NBA. So let's just go ahead and piggyback. So I've been wanting to talk about this. The first team, 4 of the 5, no surprise. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jason Tatum. No surprise, like I said. Shai, I believe this is his 3rd straight. Tatum this is his 4th straight. Giannis, I believe, is his 7th straight. Nikola Jokic, just by a fluke asterisk, this is only his 2nd straight. He's made, I believe, 5 though overall, but he missed out the 1 year because it was positionally designated still, and there only 1-5 can make it. The year that they gave Joel Embiid the pity MVP award, they had to give him first team All NBA too. So Nikola Jokic was technically, by technicality, only a 2nd team designation that year, but I think he's 5 first team overall. And then the big question was, who will be that fifth guy on the first team? That at least I was wondering, like, who's going to be the fifth? Because Luka entered the year this year. Luka had made 5 consecutive first teams, Gary. And here you go, Gary. Luka does not make any all-team designation because why, Gary?
Because he didn't play 65 games.
Correct. So Luka had made 5 consecutive, which is nuts. Like Luka Doncic, think about this. He won Rookie of the Year his first year, was not an All-Star or an MVP finalist or an All-NBA team member, but he had a very good rookie year, 21 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, won Rookie of the Year his first year. Then the next year finished 4th in MVP and was first team All-NBA in his second year, and he's been All-MVP or he's been All-NBA first team every year in the NBA that he's been in the league since his rookie year until this year because he didn't play enough games. He played in only 50 games this year. Quite frankly, he likely should have been first team All-NBA this year. He was 28 points per game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, on 45% shooting. Like just a mundane routine game. Like his career averages are 29, 9, and 8 on 47%. So basically just a career, an average year for him this year. He likely should have been, but again, did not play 65 games. So is not eligible. Therefore, I've been wondering, and it was known that he would not be eligible early on because he missed most of the games early in the year. So like we knew from the early point of the season, he wasn't even an all-star this year because he didn't play enough games. So like I've been wondering all year long, who is going to be the fifth first team member? Like we knew that Nikola, Tatum, Giannis, and Shea were going to be first. We knew that. But then who? It should have been Luka probably, or would have been Luka had he played 65. So like who was going to be the fifth? Donovan Mitchell is the answer. So you get Donovan Mitchell kind of the head of the snake, I guess. I mean, I think that's a pure ensemble cast. That was a great team this year. Garland is a great young player. Mobley, stud defensive, and he's all NBA. We'll get to him. Great year by Evan Mobley. But the Donovan Mitchell chimes in as the fifth first team selection. I honestly thought, Gary, you chime in on this one, Gary. If I presented you with the choice between Donovan Mitchell or Jalen Brunson, who would you have voted for first team?
I gotta be honest here. I'm not qualified to make that decision. I haven't kept up with Donovan or Jalen Brunson enough throughout the season. I thought my first thought was Donovan Mitchell. I was surprised he was on the first team. But honestly, I don't really know. I didn't keep up with the Cavaliers enough to really, except I just saw how good they were. I watched the game against OKC and thought it looked like they moved the ball really well and played well together as a team. And I know Mitchell is like one of their best players. I didn't even know that he was going to make first team, to be honest. Jalen Brunson looks like he's probably about right on second team. I probably would have thought Steph Curry or Anthony Edwards would have been over there in place of Donovan Mitchell, and that Brunson and Mitchell would have both been on the second team. But like I said, I haven't kept up with Brunson or Mitchell enough to really say for sure.
Anthony Edwards is an interesting case because there is this consensus of Anthony Edwards is the face of the league or one of the like handful of best players in the NBA, like one of the 2 or 3 best players in the NBA, maybe the face of the NBA. He's never even been first team All NBA, not one time. Now he's still young. He's only 24 years old, but he's been in the league 5 years and he's never even been first team designation. He has 2 All NBA designations overall, 2 second teams now. He was second team this year. We'll get into him here with the second team. And then he was second team last year. His numbers this year were quite good. 28 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 45% shooting. Jalen Brunson, 26 points per game, 7 assists in only 65 games. So he just barely made the threshold cutoff. And then Donovan Mitchell, 24 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 44% shooting, 71 games. Not staggering, eye-popping numbers. I think there's a big drop off, quite frankly. Like the four best players, and you can even say, take Tatum out of it. Maybe Luka I think Luka would probably be the 4 best. So Nikola Jokic, Giannis, SGA, Luka, and then there's a huge drop off, I think, from 4 to 5. But Donovan Mitchell, by virtue of the 64 wins that Cleveland got as a team, I think gets rewarded with that first team designation. So kudos to him. The second team, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, to Xavier's point here, that LeBron was second team, and then Evan Mobley. And I mentioned Evan Mobley. So Evan Mobley wins Defensive Player of the Year, is first team All-NBA, and then is first team All-NBA defense, Defensive Player of the Year, and All-NBA second team. Like, holy crap. What a year by Evan Mobley. Incredible season for him. Big coming out party for him. So kudos there. And Steph Curry. But look, like I said, Luka was not designated any team because he didn't play enough games, but he played most of the games when he got to LA. Like, after the trade deadline, Luka Doncic played in most of the games. He was completely ready to go for the playoffs. He was, if you look at him at that point, he was playing All-NBA first team caliber, and LeBron James made All-NBA second team. So seriously, I keep talking about, what's the problem? Why can't the Lakers, why the hell can't they get out of the first round? Like, they have LeBron and AD for all these years. They're 2 All-NBA caliber players every year in and year out. Now you've got Luka, who's first team All-NBA caliber by the time the playoffs begin, and LeBron, who's designated second team. Like, why are they winning 1 game total in the playoffs? It's a disgrace to me. And Steph Curry, like, I don't know if I don't think Steph deserved second team either this year. Like, I'm just scratching my head at why these 2 old guys and Steph and LeBron keep getting these high All-NBA designations. But I just want to finish out the third team, Cade Cunningham of the Pistons. Talk about another young player with just a breakout season. Absolute stud that he is. The future unbelievably looks bright in Detroit. And a lot of that is due to Cade Cunningham, who had a fantastic season. Tyrese Halliburton, who's really now come on and exploded his star into the next level now into these playoffs. He's about to really, I think he's already a household name, but if he's not, he's about to be, because they're going to the NBA Finals. And speaking of old guys, James Harden made an All-NBA team. He was All-NBA third team this year. And like, I don't have much pushback on that. Quite frankly, Kawhi, again, didn't play enough games to be in any consideration for an All-NBA team. He was playing All-NBA caliber by the time the playoffs began, though. I think that someone had to be All-NBA for the Clippers. I think early in the year, a couple guys kind of looked like it could have been one of 3 guys, other than Kawhi was hurt, but I think 3 guys were in the running, in the mix, to be All-NBA caliber, like third team on the Clippers. I think by the end of the year, Zubats had like a pretty good case along with Harden. They end up going with Harden. And then Karl Anthony Towns rounds out the remainder of this third team, along with Jalen Williams, Oklahoma City Thunder. So speaking of, now that's why I wanted to get into this list, obviously. I mean, I want to talk about it in general, but Jalen Williams, a lot of people, I've been speculating that Jalen Williams was a fringe All-NBA team kind of caliber player. He was 19th in BPM, 20th in VORP, 26th in PER. He averaged like 21, 5, and 5. He's All-NBA defense. That list I said came out a few days ago. He's second team All-NBA defense. All told, he's an all-star this year. So all told, I thought that Jalen Williams, they won 68 games. I thought that while he is, to me, the third best player on that team, I think Chet is the second best player, that Jalen Williams could be in the running for an All-NBA team third designation. And so it is now official that he is. A lot of people talking about Nikola Jokic's supporting cast and what they did against the Thunder. People saying that Jamal Murray's better than Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams in one season, and he is, by the way, I just want to see exactly how old he is. I think he's 24, but I just want to confirm that. He is 23, actually. So he's played in the NBA for 3 years. He's 23 years old. And in one season, he made an All-Star, an All-NBA, and an All-NBA defense. Those are 3 things that Jamal Murray has never done one time ever in 8 seasons now in the NBA. In fact, those are 3 things that no player that has ever played with Nikola Jokic has ever done. In 10 years of Nikola Jokic being in the NBA, Jalen Williams does it in one season, and many more to come for him. Many more to, like Chet Holmgren is going to be like, he's going to be a perennial All-NBA defensive caliber player. Same as Victor Wembanyama if he could just play in enough games. So look, I think Hartenstein, or I think Chet and Caruso were all NBA defense this year, but they just didn't play enough games. So there you have it. There are the all NBA teams. A couple teams with 2 players. Last year, there were only 2 teams that had 2 players on it. AD and LeBron made it for the Lakers, and Booker and Durant made it for the Suns. Those were the only teams last year that had multiple players on an all-NBA team. This year, several teams have multiple players. The Cavs have multiple players. The Thunder have multiple players. The Knicks have multiple players. So, there you go. There are the all-NBA teams. Thank you for bringing that up and getting me into it, Xavier DeGod. I appreciate that. And Xavier is actually back to back. Go ahead and read this one for me, Gary.
Thoughts on this is disappointing. Thoughts on Kaitlin Clark saying LeBron is the GOAT. Caitlin's very young. I don't think she was not a witness to Michael Jordan. She was a witness to LeBron James. This is what happens to a lot of people born in 2000 is they're clueless to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Gary. Kaitlin Clark is 23 years old. So she was born in 2002. Just to give some perspective on that, Kobe Bryant had won 3 NBA championships by the time she was born. So obviously she doesn't remember pretty much any of Kobe Bryant. He ruptured his Achilles in 2012. So she was I guess 9 years old when he ruptured his Achilles. Michael Jordan, geez, he was an afterthought. Michael Jordan had been, I guess he played in 02 and 03 with the Wizards. But again, she was an infant or born, just barely born then. And Jordan, to me, his career really ended in 98. So she was -4 by the time he ended his career. This is, the young crop of people, women, men, whatever, that were born in the 2000s. And this is all they've ever had any kind of an experience to. Though I do find it off-putting that they're going to insinuate what their opinions are. Like at least have the courtesy to be educated about it, to look into, study the history of the other great players if you're going to open your mouth,
right,
and put this garbage out there. That's all I have. That's all I have.
Yeah, that's exactly why I say I'm not qualified to speak on like Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and Oscar Robertson. I don't really know. That's why I'm hesitant to say Jordan is the GOAT. He's the GOAT since I've been watching for 40 years, and he probably is, but I still have a hard time. Like we talked about on the last live stream, Wilt Chamberlain, you and I didn't watch him and witness that whole era. So it's kind of hard for us to really, really distinguish who is the GOAT, even though we think it's Jordan.
Yeah. And also the other thing that's amusing to me, like I think people that were born in that range that Kaitlin Clark was, to me, I would think that there's 2 real competing players for like GOAT status would be obviously Steph Curry and LeBron James. So just knowing the dynamic of Kaitlin Clark's game, the fact that primarily her game is predicated on the jump shot, and she's kind of renowned as this, elite historical level 3-point shooter, at least in the women's side of the games, that it's surprising to me that she's not a Curry person over LeBron. But it is what it is. I think maybe there's just some starstruck kind of dynamic going on with Caitlin Clark. For any of you that do not know, LeBron tweeted something about Caitlin Clark a few weeks ago or something, maybe a week or two ago. And, she was just like, over the moon with the fact that LeBron had mentioned her directly in a tweet. So I think she's just, I think there might be, this might be some bootlicking going on right now.
Could Clutch Sports be in her pocket possibly?
Could be. That's a distinct possibility. So, LeBron does have a lot of pull, obviously. And, from a basketball standpoint, like, it doesn't surprise me that people are acquiescing to him or genuflecting around his feet and kissing the ring of the king, trying to get on his good side. It's obviously nauseating, off-putting to me, but I guess I can understand why people want his influence or whatever. I don't get it, and I don't really respect players that give into that, but it is what it is, as they say. Great question, though, Xavier. And John Ratcliffe, again, what's up to you? Shout out. Hope that shoulder rehab is coming along smoothly. We've got next in another regular here in the lounge, Samson the Current. What's up with Samson tonight, Gary?
He means Tim Donahe, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Foster was the one person Tim Donahe named.
Oh, okay. See, I'm actually not well, up to speed on the exactly what, like, I'm aware, obviously, of the Tim Donahe scandal and the subsequent, what I do not know is the subsequent probe. Like, I don't know the exact findings of the NBA. Quite frankly, I don't think the NBA even put out the exact findings. I think they went Roger Goodell with that shit. Like, Raj, the commissioner of the NFL, if you remember, like, he buried a few things. Like, he burned all of the evidence on Spygate. I think he wanted to bury the Ray Rice tape too, but that broke. Some reporter, I think, got a hold of that, and that leaked. But I think the NBA league offices torched all of the evidence on the Donahe probe. So I don't even know if we do have a full knowledge or know the extent of exactly what happened from that in that standpoint. But I'll take your word for it, though. If Scott Foster was implicated by Donahe, then obviously that is more than a bit suspicious. Next, we've got Xavier DeGod back in. What does Xavier have for us?
The MVP and defensive MVP don't always go to the best player.
Yeah, so probably just following up to our little conversation about Victor Wembanyama. He is obviously, look, Nikola Jokic is the best player overall, period.
Yep.
And Victor Wembanyama is the best defensive player in the world, period. So, and neither of them won MVP or Defensive Player of the Year for different reasons. Wembanyama would have won had he played 65 games. Nikola Jokic just got screwed for a second time in 3 years. So there was just a systematic freeze job done by the writers and the media and the people, the folk that vote on that, just basically blackballed Nikola Jokic for a second time in 3 years. So that's why he didn't win it. Stephanie, what's up? We haven't seen you. I don't know if I think maybe you were in last time, but anyway, Stephanie is always here. Typically she's a regular. Welcome to the lounge. Welcome to the sponsor area of the lounge. Thank you very much. As always, just for being here in general, and then also for sponsoring us. We do appreciate it, Stephanie. What does Stephanie have tonight for us, Gary?
Hi guys. What a great night. LOL. Also, Uncut Hoops posted a great video today. Foul baiting has destroyed the NBA because of Jay Williams defending SGA.
Yeah, I'll have to take your word for it, Stephanie. I could look into it again. I say it oftentimes. I know some people on YouTube and I'm like friendly with some people in my general sphere of other, creators in my niche. But I don't follow many YouTubers. I don't watch YouTube really at all. I do know Uncut kind of like we comment on each other's stuff from time to time. He slides in on some live streams, not on mine, but on another one I used to be on. So I know that our content is similar, and I know that we see eye to eye pretty much on most things. So I'm sure whatever he's saying, I would agree with it. I can't stand Jay Williams, so there's that as well. And then there's a pretty big scandal going on with this Shai Gilgeous-Alexander foul merchanting. So I think the NBA is probably going to have to sit and look at it in the offseason and see how he's being officiated. I think really, and just how games are being officiated overall. It's not, I don't think it's necessarily an SGA issue. It's like SGA just has gamed the system. Like he's just found a way to capitalize on the way that the NBA has the officials calling games. So I think that we're going to have to sit down and look at that in the offseason. The rules committee or whatever, the competition committee is going to have to sit down and investigate this stuff. But Stephanie, good point. And again, thank you very much for your support here. We've got the Enforcer back in. Enforcer, what is going on this time from the Enforcer, Gary? And thank you very much for yet another generous donation to us, Enforcer. We appreciate it.
The Enforcer says, I want to root for Minnesota, but they embarrassingly collapse too often. I agree with that. I hear you guys. OKC is strong. I still believe they're overrated, maybe because I compare them to dynasties and they wouldn't hang.
Well, yeah, whether they would hang with dynasties in the past is obviously speculative, but they are going, I think, to be a dynasty in this modern era. I've been talking about, I mentioned the All-NBA teams with Jalen Williams being All-NBA defense, and an All-Star this year. I think next year, Chet Holmgren, I don't know if he'll be All-NBA. I think he certainly could be. I think had he not got hurt, he would have been All-NBA defense and an All-Star. So you've got those three guys and an MVP in Shai and a perennial first-team All-NBA caliber player in Shai. So you've got those three frontline guys. You've got Hartenstein, who's a great player, I think. And then, Alex Caruso coming off the bench is just ridiculous to me. He's such a valuable asset on that team. Like just his poise coming in, his 3-point shooting. He's typically over 40% 3-point shooter. And then he is one of the handfuls of best defenders in the NBA. They've got other young studs on there. Lou Dort, who's one of maybe the best singular perimeter defender in the NBA. He is first team All-NBA this year at defense. So they're just crazy stacked to me. The bench is really good. Cason Wallace, not Carson, Cason Wallace, as we learned. And Isaiah Joe. They just have a lot of good players. They go legitimately 10 deep. They humiliated themselves tonight. They absolutely embarrassed themselves, their ancestors, their family, friends, their pets. Really, anyone in their lives, they humiliated all of them with their no-showing performance tonight. But that notwithstanding, I think they're just so utterly talented. The discrepancy in the void from them and the next best team in the league is stark to me. But if we're looking at the next best team in the West, to me, that is Minnesota. So if there's any team that can compete kind of with them, it would be Minnesota. But yeah, Minnesota also, like I said earlier, for them to only win 49 games with the fact that they were clean from an injury standpoint, it's a disgrace too. So, I'm just, the word of the night is disgust. I am disgusted with Oklahoma City's performance, their effort tonight. And I'm disgusted with Minnesota only winning 49 games this year. It's just disgust. It's just a disgusting night in the lounge. But I'm glad to have all of you guys here with me. Thank you again, Enforcer. We've got Dylan Davis, another regular, wants to make a little follow-up comment, it looks like, on the All-NBA teams. Gary, what does Dylan have to say about the All-NBA teams?
Skap, LeBron All-NBA second team. I call BS. what you think.
Look, the thing. Look, here's the thing with LeBron. He is statistically an excellent player. He is right now still at 40, and he has been his whole career. There's no rejecting the fact from a standard box score standpoint, and from an advanced analytics standpoint, he is a fantastic player. If you really don't look into the context of the games, but if you want to look into the context of the games, I mean, he was a negative. He was a net minus this year for an entire NBA season. And let me find exactly what it was. I think it was around minus 60 for the year. LeBron James was, minus 54 this year. Minus 54. He played in 70 games and was a negative 54, which is just hard to believe. And he was playing with most of the year because remember, Anthony Davis didn't get hurt till he went to Dallas. Anthony Davis played in most of the games he was eligible to appear in with the Lakers. And at that time, he was all NBA. He was going to be all NBA second team this year had he played out the whole year at the level that he was playing at prior to getting traded to Dallas and getting injured. So you've got LeBron playing on a team with Anthony Davis for most of the year. And then Luka Doncic. So Anthony Davis got hurt in the second half of the year after he left LeBron. Luka Doncic was hurt in the first part of the season before he got to LeBron. So basically, LeBron had for the whole year a top 10 player, like a top 10 player in Davis and a top 5 player in Luka Doncic. And then Austin Reeves, who had a crazy emergent year, 20-point per game scorer, and a very highly rated player. I think he was top 50-ish if you look at the aggregate of his PER, BPM, VORP, net rating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's about a top 50 player. So you get all of those guys in the mix, and yet LeBron is a minus 54 for the year. And they were net positive without him. So, and just to put that in perspective, Nikola Jokic was second in the NBA in plus minus this year, plus 594. They were minus 275 without him this year. The Lakers, complete reversal. I think they were like plus 100 something with LeBron on the bench and minus 54 with him on the floor. So like, if you want to just look at the stats, I guess he has to make the team, I guess. Like the fact that, you know, he's top 15 in scoring assists. He's top 15 in BPM, in PER and VORP. He is legitimately like a top 15 player when you're looking at those things. Still, even at 40 in his 22nd year, he's still a top 15 player. And there's 15 guys that make all NBA designations. So I guess he has to make it. But like, do you really want him? Is he really a winner? Is he really positively impacting and affecting the outcomes of these games? Clearly not. They're way worse with him on the floor. Minus 54 for the season for him. And then I also just want to look and see what they were ultimately with his on-off in the playoffs. That's always another interesting dynamic of things for me as well. He was a negative and on-off during the regular season. He was, oh my God in heaven. Holy shit. LeBron James, ladies and gentlemen, this is even shocking to me. I mean, even me, who knows the stats, knows the metrics, who is a lifelong advocate against LeBron James, even this is shocking to me. In the regular season this year, LeBron James was minus 5.2 in the regular season on off. That means taking the aggregate of every minute he played all year and every minute he did not play. So like take all the minutes he played in, look at all the plus minuses for every minute he played, all the plus minus for every minute he did not play. He was off the floor, and taking the aggregate of per 100 possessions. So normalizing pace and just so you know, the Lakers played at about roughly around 100 possessions per game average. So it's essentially per game. So per game average this year, LeBron James lost the Lakers 5 points per game when he was on the floor. In the playoffs, though, it was even worse and a lot worse. Minus 22. How does that strike you guys? How does that grab you? Minus 22 per 100 possessions for the LA Lakers with LeBron on the floor, to the tune of they were 2 points better on offense with LeBron. So LeBron added 2 points per game offensively. This is insane. On defense, he lost them 25 points per game per 100 possessions. So the Lakers were 25 points worse per 100 possessions in the postseason LeBron was on. And this is what we're talking about here. So, like, does LeBron's stats look good? Yes. Does his advanced analytic numbers look good? Yes. But, like, because he doesn't even play defensively at all, he literally just rests, loafs, stands around, and saves himself for the offensive side, to the tune of they lost 25 points per game on defense in the postseason. So absolutely ridiculous. Dylan, I don't know if that answered or didn't answer your question, but I mean, is he second team? I don't know. Like, is he one of the 15 most valuable players in the NBA? Definitely not. He's like the anti-valuable player. He's like the antithesis of value. He's just a hollow box score. But when you look at the box scores, though, and when you look at the advanced metrics and the fact that they somehow still were the 3 seed, like had they been the 8 seed or were the 10 seed or barely snuck into the play-in, I think you probably could have made a case like, okay, the stats look good, but they stunk. If they were like 42 and 40, or 41 and 41 or 39 and 41 or whatever, I think you can make the case like these are hollow numbers. But the fact that, I mean, they're still hollow numbers because they're so much better without him. But the fact that he had the numbers and they were the 3 seed somehow and won 50 games, I feel like, yeah, like I knew he was going to make second team pretty much all year long, barring injury. Again, the 65 minimum threshold rule. I knew barring injury that he was going to make second team. So I'm not surprised by it. Next in, we have Stephanie is back in. Stephanie, thank you so much for yet another generous donation on your behalf. I appreciate you so much. What does Stephanie have for us tonight, Gary?
Celtics and Knicks making my Cavaliers less embarrassing. I agree, Stephanie.
Great point. I mean, the Cavs at least went out on their shields. To me, Stephanie, you have nothing. Keep your head held high. The Cavaliers had a great season. They came undone with injuries. And I always talk about this. The first game is a huge tone setter. It's so impactful, especially when you're at home. I think when you're at home, game 1 is a must win, in my opinion. Like, if you lose game 1, it makes a big difference the rest of the series. Like, look at the Thunder, who choked away game 1, gave it away last round to the Nuggets, and the Nuggets somehow limped them into a game 7. Like, that should have been a sweep. But because the Thunder choked and barfed all over themselves in game 1, the Nuggets were allowed then to get them into a game 7. And then, like, look at what happens then in that Celtics Knicks series. Like, look at what happened now to the Knicks this series. Like, game 1 at home, to me, must win, especially when you're like a bigger favorited team, because it's such a tone setter. It allows you to play from ahead the whole way. Like, it's the other team now, the favored team, the favorited team that has to make adjustments, that has to play from behind. And then also game 2 is a must win. So, like, you're straining, you're playing tight, the other team's playing loose. Like, it just changes the whole complexity and dynamic of it. And in game 1, the Cavaliers were without 3 of their 6 best players, like, including, we talked about Mobley, all NBA first team defense, defensive player of the year, all NBA third team. Like, they're without that dude, their best bench player, and their point guard, a 22 point per game point guard, and Garland. Like, So it just stunk for Cleveland. Like it just was bad luck, bad timing with the injuries. Like I don't begrudge Cleveland at all. Like I'm not ripping the Cavs or crushing them for the way they went out as a 64-win team. It just was bad timing. But the Celtics should be ashamed of themselves. The fact that, look, I don't want to hear about the Tatum injury. I just gave Cleveland the injury pass. Tatum got hurt with 3 minutes to go in game 4 on the way to being down 3-1. Like they were down 7 with 3.5 minutes to go when he popped that Achilles. They were going to be down 3-1 and the series was over anyway, like whether Tatum got hurt or not. So like pitiful and disgraceful performance by the Celtics in choking away games 1 and 2 up 20 in both at home. Joke. And then the Knicks, like you would think the fact that the Knicks were the ones that did it to Boston. They come into this series now against the Pacers as, I don't want to say sizable favorites, but I think most people speculated that the Knicks were going to win that series. They come in and then they barf up game 1, up 14 with 3.5 minutes to go. Then they just choke up in game 2. So just pitiful, disappearing acts by both teams, Stephanie. I'm with you 100%. And do not feel ashamed or sad about your Cavs. Keep your head up. They're young, other than Mitchell, who's not that young, but he's not that old either. I think they're going to be back with a vengeance next season. So, and remember, this was, his name is now escaping me. The head coach of the Cavs. This is like a Carson / Cason Wallace situation going on right now. The name is escaping me.
I'll get it. Atkinson.
Atkinson. This is his first season there. His first year as a head coach there. So look at what they made a jump. I think they won 47 or ish games, 46, 47 games last year. They jumped to 64 in Atkinson's first year this year as the head coach there. So, great job by him. Like, I think sky's the limit for them, Stephanie. Do not worry. Your Cavs will be back next year. I would count on it if I were you. Lester's in. What's up? What's up, Lester? Shout out to Lester. I think now, refresh my memory here, Gary. I think Lester, I have to eat.
I'm not sure about this because I don't. Denver beating OKC. Yes, you'll eat a banana for that. But Pacers over the Knicks, I don't know if that requires a banana. To eat. That's not that big of a shock.
Look, a promise is a promise. Lester is a routine sponsor here to Skap Live After Dark.
I didn't know you made a promise to eat a banana for the Pacers.
I did. He wanted me to eat 2 bananas for the Pacers, actually.
Right.
I whittled that down to 1 banana, and there will be no suggestiveness.
We know that.
With my banana.
I wouldn't allow for that to happen.
So I will, but I do love bananas, Lester's banana. I do eat 2 a day. I have one banana regularly, then a banana in my protein shake after my workout as well. So I will eat 1 banana on the live stream for you if and when the Pacers are going to win the series. So make sure you're on. I'll make sure you're on before the banana goes down. We now have another regular in the lounge. Is there another? It is another avatar. I can't see Gary. Do we know?
Skap. I got it.
I think I have Skap's. All right, Skap's extra strong cologne.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in on it. Give me a second. Okay. I'll zoom in, and then I'll be able to tell you exactly what
I think I'm dressed as Uncle Sam. I think in this newest avatar.
Let's see. I'm zooming in. Let me scroll over. Okay. Uncle Sam.
Okay.
Is telling America that I want you to smell like. Say your famous ASS word there, Skap. I want you to smell like
ass.
Yep, and that's got the cologne. But the cologne says Sex Panther. Skap's extra cologne, you need to take the extra step and modify the bottle because the bottle says Sex Panther.
Okay, so we've got
correct that.
So we've got just to reset this for anyone that's new to the lounge. We've got Skap's extra strong cologne coming in. And there's like a new avatar seemingly every night, a new little logo thing every night. And this one now, he typically has some goofy looking facial expression by me. He has a legitimate looking picture of me now. And I am dressed as Uncle Sam. And apparently there's the tagline at the bottom that says, Skap wants all of America to smell like ass, and then my Sex Panther cologne line is what I'm holding in the picture.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So shout out to you, Skap's Extra Strong Cologne. And what is the question or comment from Skap's Extra Strong?
Right before I jump into this, I just wanted to chime in on Lester's banana just real quick and just say I'm very surprised by what the Pacers are doing. I give them props. You know, I've been saying on here, I'm waiting for them to lose. They're not losing. They are really doing well. So I give props to Pacers and congrats to the Pacers fans. We see if they keep it up and go to the finals. Okay, now on to Skap's Extra Strong Cologne. Julius Randle is alive. And there's something else I said 2 days ago that he looked dead and defeated. Julius Randle is alive. If he keeps staying aggressive like he did tonight, do the Wolves actually have a shot to win this series? No, they don't.
Yeah, I agree with moderator Gary here on this one. Ultimately, I know this series changes every time a game is played and or won, but ultimately, I think for Minnesota to have had any chance in the series, they had to split Oklahoma City in one of those first two games. They played them tight in the first half in both. They were up 4 in game 1 at half, down 8 at half in game 2. I think game 1 was the game for them to get. They were very competitive until like the middle of the third quarter in that game. They had been resting for 6 days. The Thunder came off of 1 day rest after the game 7 win against Detroit or against Denver. So I ultimately, I think they needed to win one of those first two because when they lost game 2 to go down 2-0, essentially, now look, again, they won tonight. So the math changes on this. But when they lost game 2, that meant that they had to win 4 out of the next 5 games against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've lost 2 games in a row twice all year. Once in November, so like at the very beginning of the year, and then late in April when they really weren't playing for anything. They had already won the West by like 18 games. So really, you're just not going to beat them 4 times out of 5. So, and now there's still 2 of the games remaining come in Oklahoma City. So, no, I don't think Minnesota has any chance in this series. But nonetheless, look, kudos to Minnesota. They showed up. They played great tonight. But I think tonight was more of a commentary on Oklahoma City than Minnesota. I'm sorry. I see, people are going to say I'm a Timberwolves hater or whatever. But I just don't. I see this being more about the Thunder and their pitiful performance tonight than I do being about Minnesota showing some blueprint to beat Oklahoma City. I'm not buying that, but hell, we'll see what happens on Monday night. Maybe if they even the series, I still don't think they could win it, but I think then it will likely go 7, which would be a big surprise to me. But we shall see on Monday, obviously. Jason Price, welcome back in, regular here as well in the lounge. Thank you for your continued generosity and support. What does Jason have for us tonight, Gary?
Welcome, Jason, into the lounge. Help me understand how the Thunder can go from winning by 40 to losing by 40 game after game and series after series. I'm frustrated.
Yeah, just complacency, lack of focus. But tonight was really odd because I think we've seen it like the Thunder, we've seen their offense go cold. I think, and if you can limit their turnovers and limit the bad shots and the leak outs, the deep rebound leak outs and everything like that, and if you can keep them in the half court, and if you can keep Shea off of like 15 free throws, then we've seen them look a little limited offensively. But for them to give up a $143 is just disgusting to me. That's not good Minnesota. That's bad Oklahoma City. Minnesota scored 88 and 103 in back-to-back games in Oklahoma City. They shot in the 30 percentile range in game 1 and led like the low 40s in game 2. They shot 57% tonight and shot 43s and made half of them, 20. That's bad Thunder. So the answer is they just systematically no-showed from the top on down. That's your answer, Jason. And it is disappointing. It is disappointing because They should have swept the first round. They should have beat Denver in 4 or 5. They should have beat Minnesota in 5. And now they should sweep the East. But they're just playing with their food. They just know they can't be beaten 4 times out of 7. And they're not going to sweat it. I mean, they quite frankly, they were way more embarrassing against Denver. Like they let Denver was up 2-1 on them in that series somehow. Denver won convincingly in game 6 to force them into a game 7. Denver was up 8 at the end of 3 in game 5. Like they were really sleepwalking their way through that series. And still, when it mattered, they just eviscerated Denver by like 40 points in. I think it was 32 ultimately in game 7, but they were up by, I think, 40 at one point in that game. So because they don't care, because they can just flip the switch anytime they want. So let's see. I think that flip of the switch will be coming on Monday, but who knows? Xavier DeGod is back in. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Xavier is a young buck. Holy cow. Gary, disclose this little nugget of information, this little pearl about Xavier here.
I was born in 03. LeBron ain't in my top 5. He's 6 to 8.
First of all, Xavier, thank you so much for being a regular in the Skap Lounge. I mean, the fact not only I see Xavier, I responded to a comment Xavier made on my video today. So Xavier's obviously watching the videos in the lounge, a subscriber, the trifecta. Thank you, Xavier, for that. He's a sponsor, obviously, here, and he was born in 03. Gary, what does that make Xavier? Help me with the math. 22 years old.
21 or 22, depending if he's about to.
Wow.
Wait. No. It would be 22. He's going to turn 22 this year if he hasn't already.
Let me just talk to the.
Wait, what month were you born, Xavier?
Have you had your birthday this year? Let me talk to the youth here for a second, Gary. Let me get to my. Okay. I can't see. I'm on these new monitors. There's some kind of, I have to re-verify my password to get into YouTube right now. So I'm not going to be able to see it. I could probably look it up on my cell phone though. Hang on one second.
He's either going to be 21 or 22. He just said it. He said 4/20, April 20th, he turned 22. So he just turned 22.
Okay. There you have it. I want to see my demographic here, guys. This is my demographic. 65 plus, 4% of my audience. 55 to 64, 7%. 45 to 54, 18%. 35 to 44, 30%. 25 to 34, 30%. And 18 to 24, 11%. So I have more people that are 45 to 54 watching than I do 18 to 24. 18 to 24 is my 4th lowest demo, behind only 55 to 64 and 65 and up. So the fact that we've got a regular here who's in his early 20s. Wow. Thank you, Xavier. Thank you not only for your support and continue following, but thank you for being just a classy, well-researched, and obviously a very bright individual to not have LeBron in your top 5, despite the fact that you are as young as you are. So we need more. I hope the youth of America becomes more like you, Xavier, and then I would feel less afraid about the future of the country. So thank you. Oh, and then Xavier's back in. Xavier with another follow-up donation here. What's this one, Gary?
I meant MVP and FMVP
Don't
always go to the best player.
So he made a
Finals
comment
MVP.
before
Okay.
that the MVP and the DMVP don't necessarily always go to the best player. So we made the assertion that he was talking about the defensive player of the year. What he was really talking about was finals MVP. So that's a good point. The best player does not always get the finals MVP. Sometimes it's just, look, the guy that's the most valuable in those like 4 to 7 games, or sometimes if they just want to make a commentary of some sort. I think Anthony Davis was the best player in the bubble, the best player in the playoffs in the bubble. And of course, LeBron got the finals MVP. So, take that with what you will. We've got Sully's Tech Hub in, another regular here in the lounge region. Many thanks to you, Sully, for coming back out here on Saturday night. It's now 1 a.m. on the East Coast in the US of A Saturday. So I know many people probably have other plans or whatever going on, but we still have nearly 400 people here in the lounge at 1 a.m. on Saturday, unpacking this humiliating 143-101 performance by the Oklahoma City Thunder and getting obliterated and disgraced, dishonoring their entire ancestral line with this just disgraceful performance. So we really have not talked too much about that. We've been, veering off on other subjects, such as maybe the one that Sully wants to get into now. What does Sully have for us?
New, more fitting profile pic for the channel. Sully, are you referring to your Tom Hanks photo there? Is that what you're saying should be the more fitting profile pic for Skap's channel? Or are you saying that his new revised illustration on his channel is more fitting? Did you know there was a year where Jokic and Giannis had identical opponents' field goal percentage? It was either 22 or 23.
I did not. I didn't know that, Sully. So thank you. I'll have to look that up. I've been teasing, and it might have to wait. I said when they were eliminated, but it might have to wait till the offseason. I've been teasing a think tank piece, let's call it, an introspective on Nikola Jokic and the myth of him being a terrible defender. We know that he's not a stellar rim protector necessarily. And we know that he doesn't typically ever average a full block per game. But I don't even really know, to be honest with you. I know because he's the king. He is the true king. He's honestly a god of advanced analytics. This guy has gamed the advanced system to such a degree. Like he is such an insanely high-end advanced rated player, the best in NBA history by a large margin. So it doesn't surprise me that even defensively, he is very highly touted in the defensive metrics. But so I do know that, and I do know the games that I watch. I probably saw about 4, including the playoffs, maybe 50 games that they've played this year. So I know what I watch, and I know what I follow, what I see, what I read. But I have not dug all the way in to all of the different metrics to see exactly, what it is, so to speak, for him on the defensive side of the ball. So I've been teasing the fact that there's going to be a piece of video about that. I don't know how long it's going to be. My guess would be longer. And I'll do that. I was planning on when they got eliminated from the playoffs. Likely I will push that off until the off season, maybe sometime in June. So keep your eye on that. And maybe, Sully, I will utilize this. I will keep this bookmarked here, this comment, and figure that out. Which year you're talking about. The Enforcer back in again. Many thanks to you, Enforcer. What, Gary, does the Enforcer have for us this time on probably like his 3rd or 4th generous donation of the night?
My boy is getting into playing basketball, and if I had to pick players' games mindsets to share with him, MJ, Oscar, Timmy, KG, Stockton.
All very good options there, Enforcer. But what about my man? What about the Black Mamba? What about Kobe Bryant? Like one of the preeminent mindsets, not just in sports, but like on planet Earth. Like you got to get your boy on KB. And in fact, just go. I mean, there is an endless array of like Kobe Bryant, like mindset type videos, or Kobe Bryant inspiration videos or whatever. There's full channels devoted to it. And some of them are quite well done. The videos, the production value of it is quite high. So definitely do not neglect to use the Mamba mentality. when you're getting your boy into these games. Now, we've got Lester back in here. Lester, I'll tell you what. Lester, Gary, go ahead and read Lester's comment here.
Skap, how many are aged 69 in your demo?
Lester, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing. You dropping this numerical value, talking about me eating bananas. I'm not going to come down onto this level for you, Lester. But technically, let me get back here to my. Let me get back. I'll just answer the question. I won't give you what you're looking for in terms of the question, but technically, well, I don't know how many are 69 plus. I can tell you 4% are 65 plus. So really, shout out to anyone who is 65 or older and watching the lounge right now, or 24 or younger, because those are not very big demographics for me. So if you are in that demo and you're up here with me at 1 a.m., thank you for being here. And Lester, hold tight. We're still two wins away for your Pacers to get me to eat a banana. So you're gonna have to hold tight on that. But guys, that is a nice, robust. We're approaching the 2-hour mark here on Skap Live After Dark. It is Saturday. Well, I guess now technically it is Sunday morning on the East Coast where I'm at, 1 a.m. We have reached the end here of our super chats. We have kind of unpacked this 143 to 101 game tonight in the association. Of course, that gets the series a little more respectable looking. It is now 2-1 Oklahoma City, and game 4 is pending, as I've been mentioning. I believe it is 8:30 p.m. on Monday night. Preliminary line has opened with the Oklahoma City Thunder favored by 3.5 at this time. And tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we have the Pacers and the Knicks. That game is in Indiana. I do want to check and see what the line is looking like on that, Gary. I know you said you don't really look or care about lines. I myself, who is a longtime gambling addict, always look at the lines. The Indiana Pacers are favored by 2.5 points tomorrow night, favored to take a decisive 3-0 series lead. And that one, no team in NBA history have ever overcome the 0-3 hole. So the New York Knicks will be playing for their lives tomorrow night. Gary, any expectations? I know you thought that the Knicks were going to even the series in game 2. I think most people probably thought that.
Yeah, I was shocked. Yeah, I admit I was really surprised Indiana took game 2 and are now up 2-0. Yeah, I really I don't see the Pacers, barring injury, I don't see them losing this series. Now, I think the Knicks can still win a game or two. I had predicted Knicks in 7. That's what I thought. I thought the series would be going back and forth. But, I mean, honestly, it's not even so much about the Knicks choking. Indiana just really plays well together as a team. Remember the problem I had with Boston?
I mean, Gary, they choked in game 1 for sure.
Well, but I'm saying, they should have still tied this up, is what I'm saying. Indiana just outplayed them. Indiana is outplaying. Look what they did when they were down to Milwaukee in that one game, and they were down like 7 with like 30 seconds to go and came back and won. They did the same thing against Cleveland, and then they did it here. I have to give the Pacers credit now. I can't keep crapping on them and saying they're lucky. This is a recurring trend going on with this team. They have a lot of heart, a lot of hustle. I got to give props to this Pacers team. Remember my problem with the Celtics against the Knicks was there was no ball movement, no fluidity to the offense. The Pacers have fluidity. There's no one guy they rely on. They all contribute. The last game, it was Siakam. I mean, what was it, 39 points for him game 2?
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, Pascal Siakam is like one of the most underrated players in the NBA.
Right.
I think he's been an all-star only twice. in his career. He's been all NBA twice as well. He's a really good player. I mean, career-wise, 18-7 and 4 from a career standpoint at just about 50%. But like some of his seasons, like, I mean, his 2022-2023 season in Toronto, like 24 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, he's just a really good player. And the Pacers overall, to your point, 7 players in the regular season this year, 7 were in double figures scoring this year. That's impressive. And now into the playoffs, yeah, I mean, Pascal Siakam is leading the team in scoring in the playoffs. So everybody thinks, obviously, first and foremost, of Tyrese Halliburton, but actually Siakam now. Halliburton is leading the playoffs in assists, nearly 10 a game, 9.6 assists per game. He's averaging 18 and 10 is Halliburton in these playoffs. But Pascal Siakam, 20.6 rebounds per game, leading a very, very well-balanced Indiana Pacers scoring output in these playoffs. 16 from Naismith, 16 from Turner, 14 from Nembhard. So, and then look, I mean, I think TJ McConnell and Toppin are really very good players off the bench. So, yeah, the Pacers might have been slept on a bit. I still think it's just an outright choke, though, from Boston. Like to me, even if Cleveland had got to the NBA Finals, it still would have been an utter choke from Boston. Like the talent discrepancy that I talk about for Oklahoma City all the time is true of every team except Boston. Like Boston is the one team that could neutralize OKC to some degree, roster for roster. So like if it was ever any team other than Boston that escaped the East, it was going to be just an unequivocal choke job to me from them. But then once they went out, I mean, and when you factor in the injuries with Cleveland, I think it was kind of just wide open. So like Indiana's just capitalizing right now. And yeah, it should be 1-1 because the Knicks should have won game 1. But it is what it is. Things like that happen throughout the course of the series, and they really shift and change the dynamic and the complexity of the series. And that's what happened when New York barfed all over themselves in game 1. And now it's looking like a sweep, probably, I think. We'll see what the Knicks have to offer tomorrow. But for them, if they realistically want to try to win this series, they got to win both in Indiana. They have to win games 3 and 4 and take it and even it up heading back to New York, I think, for game 5. And I just don't see that happening. So we'll see. That game is tomorrow at 8:00. Not sure what I have going on tomorrow. We are in the midst of a holiday weekend. So it's, I always confuse Memorial Day and Labor Day. Tomorrow, this is Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yes.
I always confuse those. One starts the summer, one ends the summer. It's hard for me to keep those two straight. But shout out to any veterans that might be watching. So we've got Memorial Day weekend right now, Sunday tomorrow, and then Monday obviously is Memorial Day. So not sure exactly what my schedule will look like. I don't know what my plans are for either tomorrow or Monday yet at this point. As I started out the show saying I'm not even at home, as you can tell, the lounge has changed a little bit. It looks a little different tonight here in the lounge, and it will for the next roughly 10 days while I am here. So not sure if or when I'll be on tomorrow or Monday. I'm going to try my best to be on both days. Obviously I missed last night, so I'm very sorry about that. And Gary, happy Memorial Day weekend to you and to everybody else watching. If I do not make it on tomorrow, which again I'm going to try. The games are both primetime games, both of the nights tomorrow night and the following night. So again, I will do my best to get in here and hang out with you guys, and then also try to keep up with some videos as well. So hopefully you guys will also be keeping up with my videos moving forward. If you're not subscribed, I would imagine everyone here at this point in the lounge is. So if you're not, though, please do hit that subscribe button. Make sure to turn the notifications on to stay up to date with more either breaking news videos or lounge appearances from me. And until we meet again.
Hey, can I say something real quick to the chat?
Of course you can.
Okay, Skap, your channel and my channel, you're like Kaitlin Clark, and I'm like Angel Reese. I spent a week making this new LeBron James video. Boy, oh boy, it's about as anemic as Angel Reese's points. It barely cracked 100 views. I put a lot of time into this video. Guys, after this live stream, go to my channel, Gary828, and type LeBron dismantled. LeBron dismantled. And check out that video. If you like Skap's videos, I think you'll really like this video because it's similar in a lot of ways. Skap, I got to hit 1,000 views on it. This is just ridiculous. It actually is a very good video. It's not a crap video. It's just no one on my channel is interested in sports. I do like psychology type videos, so I can't get people to watch. So anyways, I hope that
go check out LeBron dismantled, guys, for Gary828 when you get off this live stream. And yeah, shout out to Kaitlin Clark. Gary just mentioned Kaitlin Clark. That is what the video I put up today. It was basically about Kaitlin Clark. Gary, real quick before we head out, we're gonna be shutting down the lounge here in a moment. But you said you watched the video, so you do know this number.
Yes,
22% field goal percentage for Angel Reese. This 22%. She shoots literally she attempts nothing but layups. And it's a stretch for me to call it a layup. When you're shooting 22%, like layup is indicative of easy. Like it's not like layup isn't just like an NBA terminology. Like layup is just a term used like in everyday life of like, oh, well, this should be something easy. It's a layup for me or whatever. If you're shooting 22%, it shouldn't be a layup, you know, like it should be, I don't know, like a hard up or a difficult up. I don't know. Like it seems to not be a layup anymore when you're shooting 22%. And conversely, like people were just going off the deep end in praising her for her rebound totals. She's getting these rebounds on her own, like misses. Like and airballed layups. There was one segment in the last game she was 0 of 8, and she actually got like 4 offensive rebounds in like a 20-second span on her own, all of her own missed shots.
Right,
they weren't even close. Like it was pathetic. It's just pathetic. So anyway, I just want to. You mentioned Angel there, so I just want. I just wanted to mention.
And I promise you that even though my views are anemic on that video, the quality is better than Angel Reese's play, though. I promise that.
That's important. That's obviously an important element of it. So yeah, go check that out, guys. And again, make sure you are subscribed and make sure you stay up to date on any additional videos. I don't even know what I'll do tomorrow. I don't really feel the need to make a video about this abomination. So we'll see. I'll see what else is trending in the sports sphere and see what I might be able to put out tomorrow. Otherwise, guys, keep your eye out for another lounge appearance, potentially as recent or as soon as tomorrow evening. Until then, though, Gary, moderator, and everybody still here in the lounge, have a good night and Godspeed. Until we meet next.